Sateesh Patnaik, your trainer. So today's our class is Core Java 7th day class in English. So if anyone needs the Telugu class, then in the next class I'll repeat the same class in Telugu. Okay, and if anyone missed the previous classes, I'll provide the playlist link in the description. Please once check the description. Okay, so now coming to the today's session. See, today's our topic is inheritance in Java. Today's our topic is inheritance in Java. See, and I'll explain the access modifiers also. Access modifiers or access specifiers in the Java. See, first of all, what is a inheritance? Now, generally, inheritance means so we can get the properties from our parents and grandparents. So that is called as an inheritance, right? So with using in general in our real life, so we can access our parent properties, we can access our grandparent properties. So with using inheritance. Here also same. So with using the inheritance concept, we can use the parent class properties. That means the parent class methods and variables. We can use those parent properties from the child class. From the child class. The parent class properties can be used from child class. Is called as a inheritance. Practically, we are going to see that within 5 minutes. I'll show that practically. So before that, just observe the definition for the inheritance. So with using the inheritance concept, we can use one class methods and variables in another class. It is one of the definition. With using the inheritance concept, we can use one class methods and variables in another class. So observe another definition. Inheritance is where the one class, that means the child class, inherits the members of the parent class. So today we are going to see what is a parent class and what is a child class. So observe one more definition here. Inheritance is one of the key feature of the OOPs. Inheritance is one of the key feature, important feature in the OOPs. OOPs means object-oriented programming. Object-oriented programming. So in our object-oriented programming, one of the main topic is inheritance. So inheritance provided the mechanism that allows a class to inherit the properties of another class. And when a class extends another class, that means when a class inherits another class, it inherits the all non-private members. Now, what it can inherit? It can inherit the all non-private members. What is the meaning of non-private members? That means we cannot inherit the private members. We cannot inherit the private members. But what is a private? So actually in our Java, we have access modifiers or access specifiers. So like a public, private, protected. We have one more access modifier like a default. But presently, you need to learn these three things. It is enough for present. Say public, private, protected. Now, these three are called as access modifiers in Java or access specifiers in Java. So, what is a public? Say, for example, for your understanding purpose, I'll explain a small example. For example, I have a cycle with me. Cycle means bicycle. I have a bicycle or cycle with me. And what is the access modifier I given for my cycle? Public. That means anyone can use my cycle. So in my apartment or in my village, anyone can use my cycle. There is no restriction. Anyone in my apartment, anyone in my city, or anyone in my village. So anyone can use my cycle. Why? Because I given the public access modifier for my cycle. There is no restrictions on my cycle. So now coming to the private. Private means, for example, I have a car with me. What is the access modifier I given for my car? Private. Private means it is only for me. It is only for me. See, even I don't want to give it to my inherited people also. That means I don't want to give it to my son. I don't want to give it to my daughter. So it is only for me. Only for me. It's called as a private. Only I can use my car. No other persons can use my car. Now coming to the protected. For example, I have a bike with me. So what is the access modifier I given for the bike? protected. That means, so I can use my bike and my inherited people can use my bike. That means my daughter or my son can use this bike. Okay, got it? Cycle is a public, anyone can use it. Car is a private, it is only for me, even I don't want to give it to my inherited people also. Coming to the bike, it is protected. Protected means outers cannot use, but it is for me and for my inherited people, this bike. Okay, that means here, now coming to the technical wise. See, we can use the public methods and public variables. We can use the public methods and public variables from any classes. Public methods and public variables from any other classes. There is no restriction. Coming to the private, we can use the private methods and private variables only from the same class. We can use the private methods and private variables only from the same class. We cannot use it from any other classes. Coming to the protected, we can use the protected methods and protected variables from the same class and from the inherited classes. We can use the protected methods and protected variables from the same class and from the inherited classes. See, that means here, if it is a public method or public variable, okay, you can use it from any class. So here it is eligible for inheritance. And coming to the protected, so we can use the protected methods and protected variables from the same class and from the inherited classes. So it is also eligible for inheritance. But coming to the private methods or private variables, we can use it from the same class. These methods and these variables not eligible for inheritance. For example, coming to this cycle, my inherited people can use the cycle or not? I mean, my daughter or my son can use the cycle? Yes, anyone can use it. So that's why my daughter or my son can use my cycle. Coming to the bike, yes, it can be used by my daughter or my son. So the cycle can be inherited, the bike can be inherited, but coming to the car, it is a private. I'll not give it to anyone. Even I don't want to give it to my inherited people also. So here the private things cannot be inherited. Private things cannot be inherited. See, now coming to this definition, inheritance definition. So when a class extends means inherits another class, it inherits the all non-private members. It inherits all non-private members. That means we cannot inherit the private members. Okay, so here the types of inheritance. Actually, we have three types of inheritance, like a single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, multiple inheritance. So one by one, with example, I'll explain. Okay, what are the different types of inheritance? Single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, multiple inheritance. But in our Java, in the Java, we have only two inheritance. We have only single inheritance and multi-level inheritance. In Java, there is no multiple inheritance. So I'll explain all these things one by one. Initially, coming to the single inheritance. In the name itself, you can see the meaning. Single inheritance means if there is only one parent and there is only one child, so that is called as a single inheritance. Only one parent and only one child. So that is called as a single inheritance. See, observe the definition. After that, we can see the practical work. See, single inheritance enables a derived class. That means it enables a child class to inherit the properties and behavior. What is the meaning of properties and behavior? It is nothing but methods and variables. Methods and variables from a single parent class. From a single parent class is called as a single inheritance. It is having only one parent class and only one child class. In your example, if there is only one parent, only one child class, so that is called as a single inheritance. I'll show the example. Say, observe this example. You can take any class names, your wish. For example, I'm writing the class is class B. Class B, for example. In that class B, I'm writing a method M1. You can write any method name. For example, I'm writing my method name is M1. What is the access modifier I'm using here? The access modifier is protected. Protected. It must be in lowercase. All the access modifiers must be in lowercase. Say protected means, is it eligible for inheritance or not? Yes, the protected things eligible for inheritance. The public things eligible for inheritance. Only the private things, only the private things cannot be inherited. So here it is a protected, yes, it is eligible for inheritance. You can inherit it from the child class. You can inherit it from the child class. Okay. Now inside the M1, what is the definition I written? The method definition, just I want to print hi. I want to print hi. Now coming to another class is class A. Previously the class B, now it is a class A. Class A is extends from B. Class A is extends from B. Now, what is this extends? Extends is a keyword for inheritance. So it must be in lowercase. It must be in lowercase. And A is extended from B. Here the A, class A is extends from B. That means the B is the parent class. B is the parent class. A is called as a child class. A is called as a child class. As per inheritance, the child class can access the parent properties. Child class can access parent properties. That means the class A can access the class B properties. Class A can access the parent properties. Who is a parent for the class A? The class B is the parent. So the class A can access the B properties. Now what are the properties inside the B? Inside the B we have M1, the method M1. So I want to access this method M1 from the class A. So here just I'm writing a main method, public static void main. So it is a main method opening and a main method closing. So here I'm creating an object for class A. I'm creating an object for class A. So what is the object name in this example? For example, here my object name is X. The class A object name is X. But with using the class A object, we are calling the method which is available in the class B. We are calling the method which is available in the class B. So why? Because here the A is inherited from B. So that's why with using the A object, with using the class A object, we can call the method which is available in the parent. That means which is available in the class B. If I run the program, yes, M1 will be executing. What is the definition in the M1? In the M1 we have some hi. You can see the hi in the output. In the console you can see the hi. So here with using the child class object, we are calling the method which is available in the parent class, In this example, there is only one parent class, there is only one child class. Now, in this example, there is only one parent and one child. So if you have only one parent and one child, so that is called as a single inheritance. It is called as a single inheritance. One more thing, before your class, if you write a final, lowercase final, so that is called as a final class. If you make it as a final class, then no other class can inherit this class. No other class can be inherited. So here I'm writing the definition for the final class. Just observe the definition. See, observe the definition here. A class that cannot be further extended. A class that cannot be further extended is called as a final class. See, if you don't want to inherit these methods, if you don't want to inherit the variables inside a particular class, then just before that class, you need to write a final. Then no other class can be extended from this particular class. Those classes are called as a final class. Anyway, in this example, there is only one parent and one child. So that's why, so this concept is called as a single inheritance. So now coming to the multi-level inheritance. What is the meaning of multi-level? Multi-level means multiple levels. Say, for example, I can get my father properties and I can get my grandpa properties also. Right, Amma? I can use my father properties. I can use my grandfather properties. See here, there are multiple levels. Myself, my parent, and my grandparent. Totally, there are 3 levels. Myself is 1 level. My father is a 2nd level. My grandfather, that's the 3rd level. You have a multiple levels. This concept is called as a multi-level inheritance. See, I'll show the example, so then you can understand these things. So, for example, I'm creating a class like a class X, next one, class Y. The class Y is inherited from X. Class Y is inherited from X. Now coming to the class Z. Class Z, it is inherited from Y. Z is inherited from Y. Now who is a parent for the Z? Who is a parent for the Z? Z parent is Y. Z parent is Y. Who is a parent for the Y? The Y parent is X. Okay, ma? The Z parent is Y. The Y parent is X. Now here, the Z can access the parent properties and the Z can access the grandparent properties also. Now, I can access my parent properties and I can access my grandparent properties as per inheritance. Here also same. Here the Z can access the Y properties and the Z can access the X properties also. Why? Because the Z parent is Y, the Y parent is X. So here I'm creating an object for the Z. Here I'm writing some main method, public static void main. Inside the main method, just I'm creating an object for class Z. I'm creating an object for class Z. You can give any object name, your wish. Just I'm writing some obj object. You can write any object name. Already you know like how to create an object for a particular class. With using this object, say you can call M1 and you can call M2. That means with using the Z object, we can access the parent properties and we can access the grandparent properties. That means we can access the method in X and we can access the method in Y. So actually the M1 is a method in X. My M1 is a method in class X. M2 is a method in class Y. But here we are creating an object for class Z. With using the class Z object, we can access the method in the X and we can access the method in Y also. See here, as per the multi-level inheritance, see we can access the parent properties and the grandparent properties also. See, observe the definition for this multi-level inheritance. See, when a class is derived means inherited from another derived class. When a class is derived from another derived class, that is called as a multi-level inheritance. See, observe our example. The class Z is derived from, inherited from another derived class. Now, Y is already a derived class. Y is derived from X. That means Y is inherited from X. Now, when your class is derived from another derived class, why? Because Y is already a derived class. Y was derived from the X. See, once again observe the definition. When a class is derived from another derived class, that is called as a multi-level inheritance. It is implemented by defining at least 3 classes. Now, in this multi-level inheritance, how many classes should be there? Minimum 3 classes should be there. So to give an example for multi-level inheritance, and in multi-level inheritance, there is only one base class. And the remaining are derived classes. See, observe this example. Here the class X is called as a base class. Class X is a base class, and Y is a derived class. The Z is also a derived class, right? So it is about the multi-level inheritance. So now coming to the multiple inheritance. Now before this, a small request. Already you know my request. So please subscribe my channel, and please like the video as well as share the video with your friends. So if you like it, then it will be reached to more people. So that's why please like the video and subscribe my channel. And please watch the remaining videos in my channel. So if you miss any previous classes, once go to the playlist. In the playlist, I given all the classes one by one. So please go through all the classes in the playlist. Okay. And if anyone needs the one-to-one training, online training, I'll provide the one-to-one online training. So in the description, I provide my mail ID. Please contact to my mail ID. Even if you have any issue with your programming, like you have any fear in the programming, so don't worry. In our one-to-one online training, so daily I'll enter into your screen and you can practice the programs under my guidance. So once if you're comfortable with one program, then only I'll go with the next program. So like that, you can practice all the programs under my guidance in our one-to-one training program. See, that's why if you need any online training, if you have any fear in the programming, don't worry, just join into our one-to-one online training program. So I'll take care about your practice. Okay, right. So now coming to the continuation, multi-level inheritance. So I mean, after completion of the multi-level inheritance, now coming to the multiple inheritance. Of course, the Java is not supporting multiple inheritance. It is possible only in C++, only in C++, but just only for theoretical knowledge, what is the multiple inheritance. See here, before this, I'll explain a small thing. In multi-level inheritance, what we discussed, there is a class X, right? We discussed like there is a class X and class Y, class Z, right? We discussed the multi-level inheritance. There is a class X, class Y, and the class Z. And how these things are extended? The Y is inherited, I mean extended from X. The Z is extended from Y, right? It is the multi-level inheritance. Already we discussed. Here, who is the parent for the Z? The Z parent is Y. Who is the parent for the Y? The Y parent is X. Y parent is X. So here the Z can access both parent properties and the grandparent properties. Like the Z can access the Y properties and X properties. It is the example of multi-level inheritance. Already practically we discussed this multi-level inheritance example. Now coming to the multiple inheritance. In the multiple inheritance, X is an individual class, Y is an individual class. X is an individual class, Y is an individual class. The Z is inherited from X comma Y. Z is inherited from X comma Y. That means if the class is inherited from more than one parent class. Now how many parent classes here? Here in this example, X is a parent, Y is a parent. If a class is inherited from more than one parent, so this concept is called as a multiple inheritance. But this is not possible in Java. Java is not supporting this multiple inheritance. Just theoretically observe the definition. When a class is derived from more than one parent class, so that is called as a multiple inheritance. Java is not supporting the multiple inheritance concept. Okay, ma'am. So for today, please once go through all these things. In the next class, I'll explain the remaining topics in the Java. So once check the previous classes and verify all the previous videos in the playlist. Okay. So for today, I'm closing here. See you in the next session. Thank you. Thank you so much. Please subscribe my channel and like the video and share with your friends. Thank you. Bye.